The violence in Somalia will be at the top of the agenda of African leaders in Kampala. VOA's Carolyn Turner has more on the Somali militant group Al-Shabaab. A bit of warning, some of the images could be disturbing.
Anarchy has reigned in Somalia since 1991 when warlords overthrew the country. The country's most powerful Islamist militia is Al-Shabaab, which controls most of southern and central Somalia. The militants battle African Union and Somali forces in the streets of Mogadishu daily in an effort to topple Somalia's weak UN-backed administration. Scores of civilians have been killed in the crossfire, and Al-Shabaab cites this as justification for the Ugandan attacks. The group is imposing its conservative reading of Islam in Somalia. This includes official punishment, and this year a man was stoned to death and a young woman flogged for adultery. Some of the images are too disturbing to show. Rashid Abdi, an ethnic Kenyan Somali, is a Horn of Africa analyst with the International Crisis Group.
So what we have seen is a very radical, very harsh imposition of a Sharia system without being codified, without the trained people. And so we have had floggings, stonings, and very terrible, crimes committed in the name of justice in southern Somalia by Al-Shabaab.
Abdi explains that the militants were initially welcomed for bringing order to lawless regions of Somalia.
What they did is basically they brought law and order into the country. They started offering the minimum of social services, things like education, health care, to the people. So in other words, they stepped into the vacuum which was left by the collapse of the central government.
In 2009, 4 people were stoned to death for adultery in Somalia, including 2 women. Sheikh Ramadan Kamisi from Nairobi says non-Muslims do not accept Sharia law.
They find it difficult to accept that a Muslim can stone to death another Muslim. However, this is the law for Muslims. As for our brothers in Somalia, where applying the law of stoning to death is happening, I say this is our law, which is based on the Holy Quran. And the Quran states clearly that the punishment for adultery is stoning to death by God's will.
Another militant group, Hizbul Islam, or Party of God, banned music in April. Radio stations are now restricted to Islamic tunes. Yet a band called Wabari is busy practicing. If their voices are heard by the militants, they could face a harsh punishment, yet they remain defiant. Over the last 2 years, hundreds of foreign fighters with experience in Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Iraq have joined Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab pledged allegiance to al-Qaeda last year and claims responsibility for the twin blasts in Kampala during the World Cup and threatens further attacks in Uganda. Carolyn Turner, VOA News.